येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामुषो पुरुषो निर्विमानः निर्विमानः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चनान्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Good evening, members. I welcome you all to this Monday evening meeting. I spoke to our speaker, sir, Ramakrishnan sir. I asked him, sir, when we go for assessments, we have heard a lot about protective assessments, but what is this new term, protective audit? At least in my auditing days or on my student days, I have never heard of something called a protective audit. So he said, in the course of my presentation, I will make you understand what is protective audit, so be that it may, as it is. Ramakrishnan sir, as you all are aware, is the founding partner of PKF Sridharan Santanam LLP. Probably if I have to say if there is one or two top firms of Chennai, it is none other than PKF Sridharan Santanam. He is one of the founding partners of that particular firm. They are having their offices in Mylapore. He is also a certified SAP R3 consultant from Sapient College, Mumbai. He is a certificate of merit holder in CA Inter, CWA Inter, Final and All India Final rank holder, rank number 9. So a big round of applause for him. He has excellent academics for his side. He is also a gold medalist from Madras University in BSc Mathematics. He has handled major listed company audits like Indian Hotels, Shreyans Shipping and Logistics. He has handled various consulting assignments, mergers and acquisitions, and internal audits. I think the list goes on and on. I'll just read one more. He was part of the subcommittee of ICI on auditors reporting on ICFR, frauds, and was in the Accounting Audit and Assurance Standards Boards of India of the ICI. He has worked across the world, right from Australia to Argentina. May I have the pleasure of C.S. Ramakrishnan amongst us today. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you for the kind words. So maybe I should say about a month back, I didn't know what protective audit was. So it happened like this. Kara Shivakumar wanted me to present a paper on protective audit. So I was busy in something, so whenever he calls me, I say yes and put the phone down. As usual, I put the phone down. And then I said, what is protective audit? What am I supposed to talk on? Then I called him. Said, I Googled also, I can't find anything called protective audit. Said, you design something yourself. So I said, okay, then that is good, because probably this is the only paper on this topic in India, or probably the world. So I said, then what do I talk about? I mean, we are all chartered accountants, so how to chartered accountants protect themselves? So that was the topic I took up. And this morning I was listening to the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society. They've got a talk on code of ethics. I recommend all of you please listen to that. It's only 3 days old. In fact, all their talks are very good. You should listen to them. And this gentleman has been defending chartered accountants before the disciplinary committee for many number of years. So it's a very interesting this thing. I was thinking that I'm going to listen to him on Code of Ethics 2019. There's hardly anything on 2019 Code of Ethics. He was mainly talking about all the very interesting stories of what happens in chartered accountants and how we are totally left unprotected when we go before the disciplinary committee. So he's giving some very interesting examples. So one of that I wanted to tell you. Normally itself, when you are married and you try to protect yourself from your wife. I suppose all of you will agree. I think these guys are not yet married, I will learn it by and by. So, married no problem. So, there was this joke. The wife suddenly called the doctor, family doctor, and said, my husband has taken a lot of aspirin tablets without knowing. Probably he thought it was something else, vitamin tablets, and took a lot of aspirin tablets. What do I do now? Doctor said, no problem, it's something which you know, give him more headache. So it's protective. You already taken aspirin, so now the wife can go all hog. So I was keeping on the back of my mind, but then when I was listening to them, this gentleman, Mr. Vaz, 15 years he has protected members and mainly small and medium chartered accountants. He says he never works for the complainant because the institute is only going after chartered accountants and the complainant anyway is already complained and he is gone. So one of the very interesting examples he gave was, there was this husband and wife, both were chartered accountants. Both had individual proprietorship firms. So in cooperative society, any of you do cooperative society audits? There is rotation already. Every 3 years you have to rotate. Company law came only now, but in such societies you have to rotate every 3 years. So this wife was there, she did the audit for 3 years. And then what do? You gave it to the husband. The husband did it for 3 years. As misfortune would have it, they had a divorce suit. So this lady complained to the CA Institute saying that this man is no longer a husband. Took up my audit, I never communicated. So Institute, I believe, took action against him. So he said some of these cases which come to the Institute are ridiculous. You probably will take a lot of time to go after people like Satyam. That's a different matter. But in such matters, the smaller we are, the action is faster. So you're saying that. So that is something which you can certainly look at for how to protect ourselves, chartered accountants. I recommend that. So I just listened to it in the morning. Normally itself, we people are very protective. I'll give you an example. We are going in a bus or we are going in a metro or something. Somebody sitting next to us. Okay? And first we size him up. Is he going to gym every day? How is his muscles? Okay, acceptable. Then you ask him, are you from police? He says no. Then you ask him, are you a politician? He says no. Then you ask him, are you local dada? He says no. Then you are not protected. Then you ask him, why the hell are you pressing my leg like this? Yeah, I'm going to call everybody. So protection is, it's an innate thing which comes from the days of protecting ourselves from the favorable tiger or whatever it was trying to eat us. Okay. So that is for little background of how we came to a topic like this. So every time there is a fraud, and about every month there is a fraud now. So the latest being Yes Bank. And what I did not do in Society of Auditors, I added a sentence on Yes Bank also, because something very, very interesting has happened in Yes Bank, so which suited my purpose. So I have added that. So immediately, as soon as they say, it could be any firm. It could be, one partnership firm where only two brothers were there. Everything is hunky-dory till the brothers start fighting. which happens only after they get married. Okay? So we immediately say we are not doing forensic audit, we are doing audit as per audit standards. And objective of audit is not to find frauds and all that. Normal, whatever we go through. But the problem is there is a big expectation gap. Our own Prime Minister says that you are a chowkidar. Security. More or less we are like security only. We look at some of the fees, no? It looks like that only. I have to tell you this. Because I went to all the Central Council members also and told them this is ridiculous. You can't do this to the profession. We were auditors of what used to be a Fortune 500 company. I can name it, let me tell you. ONGC. ONGC, there are 4 auditors. And C&AG fees are not something which you can brag to your wife about, right? From whatever I get, I'll get you a necklace. If you say you are in deep trouble, you don't do any of that. You will go to Delhi, Bombay and come back. So, we all went to the management and said, please give us tax audit. See, many things are prohibited anyway, so you can't do. At least give us tax audit. The CFO was smiling. So why should a person smile? I mean, you have to say, yes, I will give you. He said, no way you will be able to do that. I said, what nonsense. We are 4 chartered accountants, big firms. C&AG gave us ONGC audit. And then you are saying we can't do tax audit. Each one of us do 30 audits. He said, no, that is not the problem. The fees. What about the fees? Because year before we took up, it was a Fortune 500. So I said, Fortune 500 company tax audit, there should be something, na? So let's go for it. So he was again smiling. He said, if I divide it amongst 3 or 4 of you, nothing will be left. We said, try us. You should tell us what is the fees. You can't just talk like this, suspense. So I said, 25,000 rupees. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? ONGC tax audit fees 25,000 rupees. I said, how did you find a chartered accountant who can do that? Because if he has to come to Delhi, stay 2 days, to just sign and go, that's gone. And he has to bring people and all that. So they had a beautiful way of doing that. These people are very intelligent. So they said, like some of these tenders which come, no? You should have 100 crore turnover, Marway. That means only Big 4, Big 5. So none of us can go anywhere near. And after that, he'll give you 12 other conditions, which means among the Big 4, they want to choose 2 or 1. They already decided the one and then everything is worked back. Actually, all this is being recorded. My God. But I am telling you only God's own truth. Protective. Yeah, suddenly thought of protecting myself. So, Chowkidars is Prime Minister. But the people want us to be police, right? Some of these frauds if you see, there is no way you can find out. It is so complicated that it will take us investigation to find out. And I always give the example of Satyam. 10th of January, some 10, 11 years back, our good friend said, I have taken 5,000 crores. Some chiller also, 5,000 crores is the fraud. After that, SFIO went, KPMG went, all sorts of people, CBI went. End of it, they didn't find 1 rupee more. Because our good friend Ramalingaraju had kept beautiful books of accounts. For the number 2, as we call it, what he was inflating and all that, he had fantabulous books of accounts. He knew exactly how much is being done. So, if you have 50 people, including chairman's office, doing a fraud, if everybody says they can find it out, I don't know what to say. Okay, right. One problem I did was, I gave it to one of my techie fellows. And then he did all this. So, actually I should have brought the old one, I think. It takes a little time, so be patient with me. So, as I told you, every day there is a company failing. The regulators are asking, why should there be an audit? If you can't find fraud, they are saying finding fraud is not your job. why the hell we should pay an audit fee and make you do all this? So if you can't be our Chowkidas, should we find some other Chowkidas? It actually happening in some companies that we have auditors, then we have actually people coming from this, vigilance department and all that. They also are now in the companies, going after all these fellows. They actually start from day one in forensic only. Everybody is suspect till the other thing is proved. So how do we solve this is a question, or can we even solve it? So I had to go a little out of the normal this thing. After all, this protective audit is not there. I couldn't Google, then I can copy. I couldn't do any copy paste. So I went to something else. These are fishing vessels are there. These fishing vessels go in the ocean and they do all sorts of illegal activities. Supposing you want to now take some bombs across to give to terrorists or AK-47, 57 and all that. You use these fellows. Or, whaling is prohibited all over the world. But the Japanese love whales. They love to eat whales. So there are these fellows who will go and kill whales. But to monitor them, there is something called an AIS, Automatic Identification System. The moment you put this in your ship or vessel or boat, then the authorities will know where exactly is the boat. So that is the purpose of this. Now, what they do very simple. When there is something like this, what do? We just put it off. So how are these authorities supposed to find something like 28%, nearly 1/3 of whole vessels go off the radar. Now how do we find out them? So I thought this was a parallel to what we do. The ocean is there and we do some test check and all that. And then there is a big 28% at least who are doing frauds and who are masters at it. In fact, I am told that the Satyans fellows who were cooking the books knew exactly how samples were selected by the auditors. They beautifully arranged everything for the auditors. So this is a problem. So if we think we are smart, then they are smarter. So how do you spot these guys? So they found a very interesting way of doing that. There's albatrosses. You must have heard of albatrosses. They are the biggest birds in the world. So I went and Googled and found that the wingspan is 12 to 17 feet. Imagine. 12 to 17 feet is their wingspan. And they fly thousands of miles per trip. Very strong birds. And they cover 18 million square miles in this 10 to 15 days, which is about 5 times the size of the United States. This is what they cover. And they said, after all these guys are there, these guys know, like we have refrigerator, these boats have fish, right? Well, you go and search everywhere, go there, you get all your day's requirement, including for the babies. So these albatrosses know exactly where the ships are. So they put radar under their wings. Now there is nobody who's going to escape. So I said, if auditors, we get some albatross. Because there's no way we're going to look at everything, right? Whatever latest technology use and all that, how can you do the entire audit? It's not possible. So, what do we do? I actually look at what is happening across the world, and this is what I came across. Last year there has been what is known as the UK Bryden report. The Bryden report is a big report, which is again the same problem all over the world. Frauds are happening, auditors are doing nothing, what do we do? So the Bryden did a report in February 19. He has given various ideas how can the audit be improved. He suggested 14 changes, and the most important is this skepticism. We have a standard which says have skepticism. This is all not working. Now change skepticism to suspicion. So all audits you start as if you are doing vigilance with suspicion. Now the question is, can you ever do an audit with suspicion? and how many people you need for doing that. Because if you've seen, maybe Satyam audit was done in 1 month, 2 months or something. But this investigation took 10 years. I think still it's going on. The final, this thing is not seen. Now if you do have suspicion, now how do you go about checking everything? Now we come to the definition. Ramki's own definition, because I can't find any other definition. So it says, the audit that will protect our tribe from becoming dodos, so we don't become extinct. So that is the objective of this. And immediately Shivakumar said, no, then you have the stakeholders, you have to protect them. I said, if you protect yourself, first you are safe, then everybody is automatically protected. So let us protect ourselves. Okay. So I'm going to deal with it in 3 parts. I'll try and finish by 7. Present, somewhere now, near future. That means already happening something. That also I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to do a very big hazardous guess of what is going to happen. So all this I'm going to be doing. God help me. This techie fellow, I will never give this again. This itself takes time. There is a big shortcoming of our entire human race, which you have to understand. Before I come to present, I am going to give you some background. Because without this background, I cannot explain to the future. So, the greatest shortcoming of the human race is our inability to understand the exponential function to the power of. So don't get bothered. Of course, I am a BSc Maths. I am not going to bring any maths into it. I am going to give you very simple examples. Albert Einstein gave an example which you will understand better. He said the most powerful force in the universe, who says that? Albert Einstein, one of the best scientists ever, is the compound interest. That we understand. Because you know what happens to compound interest. Anybody who has taken a loan, so that's a big problem. So that's something which we can understand. Now, this is a story, many of you will know that. For the purpose of emphasizing, I'm going to give you the story. This gentleman came with the chessboard. He's the first person who invented chessboard. He goes to the king. And the king is mighty pleased. And kings, normally say, you get up into that hill, whatever you see is yours. That's how they work. And this fellow knew that. So, the king said, I am very impressed. And thou shalt have your wish. Romba simple. He said, Emperor, my wishes are very simple. Give me 1 grain of rice, oru rice, for the first square. 2 grains for the next square. 2 into 2, 4 for the next. 4 into 2, 8 for the next. You're just working on exponential. 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3. Just for 64 squares. This king was irritated. I am telling you, I'll give you diamonds and rubies and all that. Idiot. Wish is granted. And then our treasurer comes running to the king. My lord, the amount of rice adds up to an astronomical amount. Far more than your empire could produce in many centuries. Chance. So, I went and calculated. It is 1 lakh crores grains, which translates to 6 lakh crore tons. Even if he is Alexander, he cannot give that. So this is exponential. Okay? So now we understand, we are in a better position to understand what I am going to say later. And let's leave the king of the yore. Let's come to latest, right? So if I have to talk to latest generation, then I have to bring Facebook, Google, Microsoft and all that. So our own Mark Zuckerberg says, Humans don't understand. He's saying the same thing. You don't understand exponential function. If you fold a paper 50 times, it goes to the moon and comes back. The Jason Culver house, calculate pannittu. He says, why Mark got it wrong? If you fold it 50 times, it goes to the sun and back. 50 times paper folding will take you to the sun and back. See, if you don't understand this, it's beyond our comprehension. So that is why you have to understand exponential. If exponential is a problem, I'm going to tell you a little more difficult stuff. We all think linear. That's why we are not able to understand these grains and all that. Machines and artificial intelligence are growing exponentially. Till very recently, I was thinking they were going exponentially, which itself is a big problem for us. Now I have realized they are going double exponential. Then immediately I had to go to the Google. There's nobody else who explains all this. Before that, I can't PNN. PNN is my professor in Vivekananda College. PNN, sir, simple. Because you don't know whether you can rely on Google. That's a big problem. So before that, I asked PNN, sir, what is double exponential? He sent the same question back, what is double exponential? Then I said, okay. He's not an ordinary man. He has written at least 10 books on the modern mathematics, and even 1 month back he has published a book from a German publisher, one of the very great mathematical minds, but he didn't know. So then I went and checked. Now we know easily 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3. Imagine 1 to the power, 2 to the power of 10. Then the exponential function becomes exponential. Up 2 to the power of 10 into 10. 2 to the power of 100 into 10. Imagine what will happen. This will be mind-boggling. You require a separate supercomputer to do calculations. Now why I am telling you all this is, I am going to come to all this later. And there is another item which we don't understand. That is called quantum computing. So when you take these two together, I always feel that we are becoming obsolete every third day. This all happens, we will become obsolete every third minute or third second. So that is what I am warning you about. So we'll come to all that later. We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years. Underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. Bill Gates should know that. He's the richest man, or thereabouts. AI is perhaps the granddaddy of all exponential technologies, sure to transform the world, the human race, in ways that we can barely wrap our heads around. You can't even think, you can't even imagine. I think I have adequately frightened you. So we are in the present, right? Sometimes we may even say that will all come maybe 10 years later. At least I can say I will retire. I'm 67, so it's all right. So what we do in audit? Why did the accountant cross the road? Because last year file said cross the road. You will recently recall that the person who invented copy paste and cut paste unfortunately died. He should have been given a Nobel Prize, no? We thought that what will we do as auditors here? So when I review my guys' files, because I'm supposed to be quality in charge. Before I start, I ask them, did you use copy paste? They will innocently say, no sir. Then about 10 minutes, I will find out. You did copy, I'm proving it. Anyway, that's how things are. And then what the managements think of us, the directors, the companies. EBITDA, according to them, is earnings before I trick the dumb auditor. It's a universal definition. It's not Indian definition. Where were the auditors, what were they doing and all that nonsense. There's one solution to this. Look at these two girls going to school. Your dad let you have a cell phone? Imagine a tiny tot in UKG having a cell phone. Yes, my only rule is I can't call anybody that I can't see. Very smart father. If you can see a person, you can call him. Why would you call him? Right. So like this, one solution could be that we don't do audit at all. That's not a very good solution because all of us end up doing some audit or the tax audit or whatever it is. It's not a good solution. So what the hell can I do as an auditor? So I have found 6 things which we have to do. Choose clients carefully. It's all part of standards. At least one is part of standards. And then some of which is Ramki's own suggestions. Look at the past and learn from others' mistakes. This is what I'm going to call as our albatross. My theory is all the problems which are coming have already been there. All frauds have happened in the past. All frauds happened multitude of times in the past. It's simple, you have a checklist and just go back whether this fraud is there, that fraud is there. We're trying to implement it in a very small way in our firm. See, let's say you're doing an audit. Revenue you are looking at. You tell your apprentice, go and look at cutoff. He looks at cutoff the way he understands it. Now, what I have said is cutoff all the frauds which happened and what are you trying to arrive at. So now he understands better. Oh, idu panna idu varuma. It's a very simple methodology. So that is something I'm going to talk about. The third one is turn the clock back on audit. I can explain to you. Look at unduly high profits carefully. We have this tendency, and that's a big loss, we go after it. The loss has already happened. Maybe the loss is understated. But the problem starts when the profit is made. And I can trace that. I'm giving you examples. I've given you example of even Yes Bank. And document. Because when the time comes, only your file is going to save you. And our documentation is absolutely pathetic. I'm including myself. So sometimes I go and I shed tears. I tell them this is not the way to keep a file. So this is something which we all have to attain. Continuously ensure that you tell them that something is going to happen 5 years down the road. Because all 5 years, 10 years and all. At that time you're not going to be there. So ensure that your file speaks. This is something which I make them repeat every time. And of course you can look at QRB peer review groups and all that, get an idea. Choose your clients carefully. Satyam, long back, it became a fraud. They had done a fraud of taking a forged signature from an employee. There's a company called UPay, and for them they developed software. And because that software is developed for them, they give them the IP rights. And because the work was done by Satyam, they said, please give the names of the people and their signature and what they did. Then only you can get an IPR. So they very beautifully did that. And then this company found that 2 other companies had copied that. So they went suing them. And one of these Satyam employees was working for one of the people sued. He said, this is not my signature at all. Imagine doing a software getting signature of people who are not employees or employees but you have forged their signature. Tells you about the management. So this, they sued Satyam for $1 billion because they couldn't do anything because their software is being used by others. And then after Tech Mahindra took up, December 2009, they settled for $70 million. So first thing is, your management, I think I read somewhere that before starting Satyam, they were in some textile business. and they've taken a loan from a bank and not repaid. So the track record of the person is very, very important, because if you have done that, then he will continue to do that, no matter what happens. And the second thing is, all frauds start small. I always remember one case where only one shift production was shifted, and we had reported saying that what should have been cut off till 12 went on till 6 a.m. The managing director of that company took action. So because it starts with one shift, then it becomes 2 shifts, and then it becomes 3 days and all that. I can't name you this company. This is a PSU company. We are appointed for the first time for audit. So we are asking them, when should we come for stock verification? For 31st March. Can you even imagine what date they told us? 25th of April. I said, 25th of April is your year end or what? So, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, when I think of, I'm reminded of a reinsurance company. Reinsurance company, there was a fraud by an employee. They found out. So the employee thought he's going to be fired. The managing director called him. He asked him, how did you do it? He said, this is getting interesting. So he said, this is how I did it. He said, can you do it on a large scale? He said, no, I like this. So he has ticket category. Human beings have been surpassed in the way they work. These are places where fraud detection is using AI. This is actually using algorithms which are based on the neural network. And then there is one Galileo, they are a payments processor, they have a fraud AI automatically available now. MasterCard is now doing fraud automatic detection, and the problem false declines declined by 80%. $647. I think we can finish. Now we go to the future. Future, I frightened you at the beginning, saying that it's going to be very, very, very different from what we see now. How many people have seen Android Kunjappa? No? See it. Actually, the Android which is coming there, Robo comes to take care of aged father. But that, it's a Malayalam movie. But that is not a real robot. Robot is only a, I think there was a mimicry artist by name Suraj, he did that. But similar robots are available in Japan for taking care of elderly. Already they are working. And if you see a few days back, Sophia was declared as Saudi national. Of all places, Saudi. So probably they felt it is better to have a robot lady than a real lady. And robot Sophia was brought to Kerala. Kerala has some of these very fast changing things. And very recently in February 20, they made an introduction to Sophia. And in real Indian fashion, they were showing Aarti for her. And she was wearing sari. So that gives you sort of a glimpse. Now, exabyte is 10 to the power of 18. It is called quintillion bytes. It is 100,000 times the data in the largest world library. The largest world library is in the Library of Congress. Some people say it's the British Library, it doesn't matter. Maybe a few books here and there. 1 exabyte is 100,000 times the entire world largest library. And in 2016, which is 4 years back, the world exchanged 1100 exabytes of data. That is the type of growth which is happening. Foxconn, the world's largest producer of electronics, 1/3 of all electronics in the world is produced by Foxconn. Replace 60,000 workers with robots. Robots to perimeter control on Amazon warehouses. Drones deliver pizzas now in New Zealand. You can order pizzas in New Zealand. Dexter is a robot which watches what you do at home and replicates. Very interestingly, they said a robot cannot fold a shirt. Give it a few months, it started doing that because it watches you and says, "What are you doing great there?" Self-driving cars will replace 400 million people who are drivers now, 40 crore people. There are doubts whether AI will take some jobs. AI will take every job that it can take. What will be left? AI engineers, robot designers, memory augmentation therapist, diffractive optic modeler. They are saying, I had a chartered accountant coming for interview. I asked him, okay, give me one difference between Ind AS and IFRS. He said, sir, Ind AS is not in my syllabus. I said, what? Ind AS is there for 3-4 years. What are you going to do coming to companies? I don't know. Anyway, we are there. Jobs which may not be replaced in the future are emotions, love, education, empathy, creativity, critical thought. Maybe you may not like somebody giving you idli sambar. You would like to see a human being there. Our brain has 100 billion neurons. Imagine one machine which God has made. Each connects to 10,000 neurons. That is why I am ending up talking to you. Imagine the number of connections. Machines, AI, machine learning, deep learning are mimicking the brain now. They are no longer on programs. They are doing exactly what the brain is doing. And they are beginning to learn the way scientists learn, the babies learn. Let's say you take a baby up to year 2. The learning is very, very, very fast. You will sometimes be amazed how it comes to know. Is there a teacher? Maybe we teach a few things. The baby learns by itself. That is what the machine is doing now. And FB translates 50,000 sentences a second. Any of you use translation or voice, Siri and all that, you will know now. It even takes a normal driver's accent. My driver, as soon as he gets in, he says, Enga sir pono, he talks to the phone. It learns driver's language also now. So I started thinking, and by 2011, the AI has achieved superhuman areas, specific areas. For instance, today, skin cancer, the world's best skin specialists cannot find out as fast as the AI. Immediately people said, no, that is all right. Given one task, it can do that. But what we people do is hell of a lot of things, right? We go for a walk in the morning, we go for a restaurant, we do tax return, we do tax audit, all sorts of things. So this is where these companies are coming in. OpenAI, Microsoft has invested $1 billion. AI bots beat the world's top human team in video game Dota 2. Some of this was considered impossible by machines, but they are doing it. And they went and saw how can a machine beat the world champion in Dota 2. The machine worked 45,000 years. It worked, there's no way we're going to work 45,000 years. The same thing, it repeated itself because it doesn't have to sleep, no headache. I had stomach problem when I started. No such thing. Keeps working. As a robot which solves Rubik's Cube using its hands, dexterous hands. DeepMind. All you have to do is see 2 videos. One is on DeepMind Google. The other in Elon Musk Neuralink. Elon Musk says that our brains connecting to cloud is just a year away. They're talking of numerous wires in the brain, 1/20th of the breadth of hair, which will link the brain, and then it will get connected to the cloud. So that means you have some question, you can answer that by referring to Google without even going and doing anything. From the brain, it will directly do that. And he says it is coming within a year. Alpha Zero with human-like skills. He is one of the critics. But the very interesting thing is he is also doing AI. Doesn't want to be on the other side. 6:58. I'll finish this and probably we can leave. AI machine learning, why is it better? Brute force, I told you that game was played 45,000 human years worth. How can any human match that? No fear of failure. We all have that, right? No preconceived notions. Not afraid to try new moves, because as the machine goes, you see that video, it's very fascinating. So the world champion is saying, no, that's not done, that's suicidal, I'll kill you. The machine does that because it has already found the next move. Ability to continuously learn. And if you see that, there is a right hand side corner where the machine is predicting I will win. Against this champion, it is saying game 8, I'm going to beat you. By looking at it, you will, this is COVID-19, we have to talk about it. Before your World Health Organization found out that there was a virus, they have not named it COVID-19. They only knew that it was one type of coronavirus. 9 days before this Blue Dot Canada, they said there is a new virus coming. See what they are saying. A cluster of unusual pneumonia around a market in Wuhan. Can you believe it? They predicted it 9 days before WHO even came to know about it. And they say, we predict this will hit 11 cities. On what date? Seoul, Bangkok, Taipei, Tokyo. They are saying, what date it will come? A is picking up all that. Because they're working with some of the best experts in the field. They look at the data and say, okay, this is possible. They're looking at public health organization data, digital media, airline ticketing, livestock health reports, population demographics around the world. Every country they're matching. Every 15 minutes. Without your knowing, Chennai position is being controlled by Blue Dot of Canada with their AI machines. I have now come to 7. Do I have 5 more minutes? Okay. 2019 October, something has happened which we must know. What was only in sci-fi books has already happened. A Google device Sycamore did in 3 minutes 20 seconds, 200 seconds, a calculation that supercomputers like Summit of IBM could not complete in 10,000 years. 200 seconds to solve a mathematical problem which they said will take 10,000 years for the best supercomputers in the world. IBM immediately came with a defense. Summit, if properly programmed, can make this calculation in 2.5 days. Google laughed. We are talking 200 seconds, 1080 times faster than what you think you can do. You have not done that. So, quantum is something which combined with AI, what it will do, nobody can. That is why I had to start with all those initial things. Because this is growing at the double exponential speed, which is not heard of. There's been no quantum computing ever. There's been no artificial intelligence general purpose ever. World's first teleportation from chip to chip happened. Kudu to Kudu by one version. They have achieved that. If you see the explanation, they say it is equivalent to a cat being alive and dead at the same time. Mind-boggling. I didn't understand that. The arrow of time was reversed. Time goes forward, right? Unless in the movie, Back to the Future. They have achieved that. January 18 on atomic scale, they have reversed time. A quantum computer is working right now of IBM Q system. It's housed in a 9 feet airtight glass panel cube. Daimler is already using it to develop the next generation lithium sulfur battery. You don't do anything for future. You just go and look at the videos of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is absolutely a genius and a crazy guy automatically. So when he said 39 minutes from New York to Shanghai, people laughed. He said very simple. Go up to space, go there, come down. 39 minutes. Any place to any place in the world, 30 minutes. And then he's the one who said Hyperloop. He is the one who said, I can do car, which will be much better than anybody. He's already achieved it. His company's valuation, Tesla's valuation, is more than all the other car companies put together. So that guy is the one who is working on the neural links, linking the brain to the cloud. What will win? So what they say is, what will win is putting these two together, humans and AI together. So there was a case study which says that retail company, the best buyers were pitted against the AI. So AI bet them by 25%. Then they said, okay, what if we make both of them work together? They told these buyers, take AI's result and modify that. They did stupid things. They didn't understand what AI was doing. The results were worse than the past. In fact, they could have done it better. Then they said, no, you don't talk to AI, AI will talk to you. Then AI had a doubt, it called those buyers and said, I don't understand this, can you explain this color? They explained. 50% improvement. So the world is going to be a place where humans will work with AI and make the world better. That is the way it is going to happen. That's it. Last slide. So the world will be a very different place. And I told you that you cannot look at exponential growth even, I understand it. So the albatross which we are talking of, supposing we give it to the AI and the quantum computers. So it says, give me half an hour. All the frauds of the world, starting from Kautilya's days to what happened yesterday's bank, I have digested. And these are the 3 steps you are going to take in this company to find frauds. Brilliant. In my opinion, this is going to happen. And not very, very late. Maybe in my lifetime. I'm only 67. I have some more days to go. So, at the same time, we need to sharpen our saw and work on what is available. And we have to make our mind to work with machines, IoT, blockchain, all this, we are never going to be experts. That you understand. You need to only know about it. That's it. Then you can talk to somebody who is an expert. And all this will be available as service for us. We don't have to do it ourselves. There will be a company offering service to us. And there is a video called Future of Audit that will take about 10 minutes. I'm going to leave this with you. You can look at it at your leisure. It's an interesting video. It's not that far off as I am saying, maybe 5 years from now. But some of the things I'm talking albatross through AI, maybe 15, 20 years. But I may be very wrong. That is why I told you at the beginning. We don't know how to even imagine things. Thank you very much. Sorry, I took 7 more minutes. But we started late.
Yes. A few more minutes, friends. Just a few minutes. I think it was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Right from I went back to the time space from Kautilya 2300 BC to probably 4000 AD. A big round of applause for Ramakrishnan sir. Any specific questions to Ramakrishnan sir, or shall we wind up? Any specific questions, or
I wouldn't
do we have any?
know
This video will be played now, or Ramki sir sent some video.
There is a video. You have Wi-Fi here? No, I'll send it. You can look at it. In fact, if you just Google now, the same video will.
YouTube.
Sir, may I request?
Actually, I went back to this book now. I took it from the library because I said we need to go back now. The history of accountancy profession by G.P. Kapadia, of course, the man whose statues outside.
First president of
All your gold medals are of G.P. Kapadia.
May I request Bhaskaran sir to come forward and present a moment to our learned speaker.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone for joining us during this particular meeting. Thank you one and all.